Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a car that's more sci-fi than sedan. Imagine never having to plug in or gas up because your car's fuel source is the sun. This isn't a scene from Back to the Future. This is the Aptera, a solar-powered marvel that's getting major attention. And it's doing things no other vehicle has done before. Why everyone's talking about Aptera? You might have seen Aptera on news channels lately. It's been the talk of the town, showing up on BBC.
First solar-powered cars are scheduled to appear on American highways, and one of the companies making them is Aptera Motors. Now, the car maker says this electric car can be charged either by mains electricity.
Popping up in headlines and even test driving its way through San Francisco.
Drive the car without ever having to fill up or plug in. Well, the race for fully solar-powered cars has accelerated in recent years as climate change intensifies. So we sent Itai Hod to get a test drive of a car that proves the future is right around the bend.
It's a new twist on traditional travel. No gas or plug required. All this car needs is a tank full of sunshine.
This is the future.
Called the Aptera, this two-seat, three-wheeled car looks more like a futuristic plane, especially when you open its doors. And wait until you see how you do it.
There you go.
Chris Anthony is Aptera's co-CEO. He says this car, priced at about $35,000, is all about efficiency.
There's combustion vehicles, there's electric vehicles, but there's no vehicle that creates its own fuel.
But what's the big deal? This isn't just another electric car trying to compete with Tesla. Aptera is a whole new category in transportation. A car that generates its own energy, doesn't need to plug in daily, and isn't dependent on gas stations. It's all powered by the sun, turning every sunny day into free miles on the road. What's the deal with solar cars? Let's break it down. Solar-powered cars have been in the works for years, but with climate change accelerating and fuel prices spiking, they're finally making their way into the mainstream. Aptera's entire concept is about extreme efficiency. Picture this: a car that doesn't just conserve energy, but actually creates it.
The global solar vehicle market is just revving up, from $450 million in 2024 to $2.5 billion in 2030. The Aptera, which is scheduled to roll out next year, is covered in solar panels that can generate enough energy to drive 40 miles per day. For longer drives, it can be charged like a regular electric car. How fast does this car go?
0 to 60 in about 4 seconds, and the top speed's 110 miles an hour.
We took it for a spin to see how it handles San Francisco's steep terrain. I have to say, it's doing a pretty decent job. Stephen Zoff, a former Department of Transportation official and Stanford researcher, says that while these cars are a step in the right direction, they may not be ready for prime time just yet.
The trade-offs, very small, very lightweight, limited carrying capacity, are going to be deal breakers for a lot of U.S. customers.
And then, of course, there's the weather. What happens if you live in a place like San Francisco, known for its fog?
Yeah, San Francisco's a great use case for the Aptera. In Southern California, we get a bit more sun, so we get about 11,000 miles of free driving a year with this vehicle. In San Francisco, Seattle, New York, you get more like 8,500 miles a year.
Solar cars, steering people towards a brighter future, where the best way to move forward is to look up.
If you're interested in getting one yourself, you've got a while to wait. It isn't expected to come out until Q2 of next year.
Aptera's sleek design and solar panels enable it to produce enough energy to drive up to 40 miles per day without ever needing to plug in. Now, Aptera is not your typical car. It's more like a small spaceship. It's a two-seat, three-wheeled vehicle that looks like it belongs on Mars. Built for efficiency, it's lightweight and super aerodynamic. In fact, Aptera has a drag coefficient of just 0.13, meaning it practically glides through the air. using less energy to move forward. To put it into perspective, most cars on the road have a drag coefficient around 0.3 or higher. Aptera's design makes it one of the sleekest, most energy-efficient vehicles on the planet. But how does it handle the road? A recent test drive in San Francisco put Aptera's unique design to the test on steep hills, winding streets, and stop-and-go traffic. Verdict: it held up like a champ, showing that it's not just a concept but a car that's actually road-ready. What you get under the hood. Let's talk power. Aptera might look like a featherweight, but this car can go from 0 to 60 in around 4 seconds and has a top speed of 110 miles per hour. Aptera's expected price starts at around $35,000, making it accessible to those interested in eco-friendly, high-tech transportation. Plus, you can plug it in for longer trips just like a regular electric vehicle. But here's where it gets cool. For daily drives, going to work, running errands, picking up groceries. You may never need to charge it at all if you live in a sunny area. Aptera's solar panels can produce around 11,000 miles of charge per year, which is incredible for most regular commutes. Is Aptera the perfect car for everyone? Not quite. For those who live in less sunny places like Seattle or New York, it may only produce around 8,500 miles of solar power a year. That means it won't completely eliminate the need to plug in. And while it's great for everyday driving, Aptera's small two-seat design and limited cargo space may be a deal breaker for families or those who need extra room. There's also the weather factor. Solar panels perform best in direct sunlight, so cloudy or foggy areas will impact Aptera's range. However, even if the car isn't fully self-sustaining, it still reduces the need for traditional fueling methods. And unlike any other car on the market, Aptera does give you that unique, gas-free, solar-powered driving experience. Aptera isn't just about innovation. It's about changing the way we think about transportation. It's the first vehicle that produces its own fuel, freeing drivers from gas prices and reducing their carbon footprint in the process. With its launch, Aptera is shaking up the auto industry, challenging manufacturers to rethink fuel efficiency and energy independence. Chris Anthony said, and I quote, "We're building a vehicle that's truly designed to be efficient. With Aptera, we're creating a car that doesn't just consume fuel, but creates it through the energy of the sun." So, when can you get your hands on an Aptera? The company plans to roll out the first production models in 2024, with initial orders expected to reach customers by mid-year. However, with production ramping up, the majority of orders likely won't hit the streets until 2025 or later. Right now, the demand is so high that Aptera is only producing a limited batch to start. Once those models are out, they'll gauge public response and work on scaling production to make solar cars more accessible. But as more people learn about the Aptera and start placing reservations, the company is optimistic that demand will drive innovation and investment in solar vehicle technology. For investors, Aptera represents a slice of the future. With the solar vehicle market projected to skyrocket from $450 million in 2024 to over $2.5 billion by 2030, there's a lot of potential for those looking to invest in next-gen transportation. With more attention and funding, Aptera could very well disrupt the auto industry, pushing major car manufacturers to explore new energy-efficient technologies. In the end, Aptera is more than just a car. It's a statement about where we're headed. With Aptera, the future of driving might just mean looking up instead of plugging in. If you're interested in Aptera or other exciting tech innovations, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. There's so much happening in the world of renewable energy and sustainable tech, and we'll keep bringing you the latest updates. Until then, keep dreaming big, stay eco-friendly, and we'll see you in the next video.